In this video we want to talk about critical to quality trees, so-called CTQ trees. Now, for new products and services, quality is important. In fact, we could say that quality is important for all products and services. But new products and services need to be established in the market, and for that reason they should have particular emphasis on quality. They should emphasize the quality element in the marketing campaigns leading to the introduction of a new product or service into the market. So quality should be emphasized from the outset. But of course, equally, as I just said, quality is important for all products that the company produces. They should offer good quality, value for money, good after sales service. So, but for new products, it is particularly important. So it's important to satisfy the clients, the customers. The customers should recognize the product after a period of time as representing good value for money, as I said, and representing good quality. It should stand out from the competitors. So quality should be emphasized, and there are many videos on this course talking about total quality management and quality initiatives and the quality gurus and so on. And this one simply tries to operationalize quality. How can an organization go about ensuring that its products have good quality? So if it has good quality, then it should stand out from the competitors, which should enable it to enter the market and establish itself in the market and be a good contributor towards the finances of the business. So let's look at this idea of critical to quality trees, CTQ trees. Well, they help to develop and deliver high quality products and services. They're a good way of ensuring that quality is checked and established throughout the process, the various processes it goes through, I should say, within the organization. And they help to deliver a good quality product. They also translate broad customer needs into specific, actionable and measurable performance requirements. So the critical to quality trees look to the customer and to the customer's needs, and then tries to move the customer's needs into specific, actionable and measurable performance requirements. What should the product do or be have the capacity to do to meet the customer's needs? And these should be actionable. They should be capable of meeting those needs specifically. So here we'd look at, for example, the broad customer needs. Then we'd have to look at the drivers, the attributes sought by the customer. So what's the broad customer need? What does he want overall? And then what particular attributes should the customer, or does the customer have in mind? What does the customer want more specifically? And these are the drivers. And what are the measurable requirements of each driver? How do we measure whether the attributes that are sought by the customer are met or not? So let's just look at having some need. Well, this need would have a driver. This is the broad customer need. The customer has some broad requirement, but then it'll have some specific driver, some specific part of that need will be of particular importance to the customer. And these this driver, this attribute, may be met by, say, two particular requirements. The product should have two requirements, and if these two requirements are met, then that driver is met, and if the driver is met, then the need may be met entirely or it may be partially met. but certainly it's moving in the right direction. So the idea with this diagram is we have the broad need. The broad need is made up from drivers, is what the customer is looking for, some specifics about the product, and then there's the requirements. If the customer was, say, looking to buy a car, it's got a broad need to buy the car, but then might look for particular attributes of the car. Say the car should have a certain type of engine. Well, then the requirements of that type of engine must be met. These are measurable inputs that should be met by the producer. So the producer then is required to have particular engine types. Then these become the attributes. This is one of the attributes that the customer has in mind, and that will partially meet that need. Of course, the broad need may be made up from more than just looking at the engine size. You could have not just the engine size, but perhaps the economy of the car. How much petrol does it take to move the car? How many miles per gallon or kilometers per gallon or per litre or whatever. How efficient is the engine? That might be one, and that will have again some measurable requirements that needs to be looked at by the producer. The car should have certain functionality, perhaps certain components. It may have to have a radio, for example. So that would be a particular requirement as well. So we can see that the broad need is to have a car, but then there are specific attributes that the car should have to meet this customer's requirements. It should have a certain engine size, it should have certain upholstery, it should have certain economy or efficiency, it should have a certain capacity, and it goes through it. And there may be many of these so-called drivers that the customer will have in mind, and these have to be met then by the producer. If they are met, then all of the attributes will be met, and then the broad need will be met. So let's look at critical to quality trees. Well, we have the need, we have the quality driver, and the performance requirement. Now, the need is to promote a new product. Let's say that's the particular need. Promote a new product. So we need to establish quality credentials. And one of the quality credentials could be to meet national health and safety standards. So that might be one particular one that's important when looking at quality. But it should also be the case that quality needs perhaps to have an honest and open approach with clear guidelines. So quality should be explained clearly to the customer, what the product can do or can't do, and how it's made and how reliable it is. And this should be honest and open. So that could establish some credentials there. So in promoting a new product. We could have after-sales service, something very specific, say deal with customer complaints within 7 working days. That's the performance requirement. Deal with refunds within 5 working days. That's perhaps a requirement. And we could have set marketing targets. Say, for example, grow sales by 5% per month, or enter an international market within 2 months of startup. So if we just study this tree for a moment, here we've got the need, which is promote a new product. Then we have quality drivers. Well, establish the quality credentials. So in other words, look to the broad statements about quality that will apply to this new product. It'll meet national health and safety standards, so the product will tick that box, and it'll be presented in an honest and open fashion. The quality attributes of the product will be discussed honestly and openly. So that's quality credentials dealt with. After sales service, well, set up the quality driver here is after sales service. How will this be achieved? Well, the performance requirements would be, let's say, to deal with customers within 7 working days or deal with refunds within 5 working days. Now, why 7 and 5? Well, these are just picked by the company to indicate that all issues will be dealt with in that time frame. So after sales service is now clear. Customers know what they're going to get in terms of after sales service. Set a marketing target. So the company sets itself a marketing target, and the marketing target is specified. Say grow the sales by 5% a month, or enter an international market within 2 months. So it's got performance requirements. Now the company knows what it needs to do in dealing with this new product. So it knows what it needs to do, it knows what the quality issues are, and it knows what it's promising. So there will be a new tree for each need. So each need that is, you can imagine, there will be a new tree with a quality set of quality drivers and performance requirements. And that's how it's worked out. That's how in practice it would be worked out. The broad needs would be identified, quality drivers would be associated with them. So what aspect of the product are we dealing with, some quality driver, and then how is that quality driver met? How is that requirement met? And these are the performance requirements. So if we look at the left hand side, we see what the customers want, or what the company wishes to do, in this case promote a new product. And on the right hand side, under performance requirements, we see what it must do in practice. But we can see where each one of these tasks on the right hand side, they feed into quality drivers, and the quality drivers is what will enable the need to be met. Now this is quite a short class, so that's all we want to do here. It's wise for you to, say, practice drawing up charts like this and see if you can work out what the quality drivers are and what the performance requirements are to establish these, to make sure the quality drivers are met and that therefore the overall need is met as well. But that's all we're going to deal with, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.